So tell me about your uniform.
This is what the civilian men, the men who were right off the farm, would wear in 1775 when the first call came by Washington to bring in the militia. And so we were wearing these jackets, which were called riflemen's jackets. Most of them, everybody made their own material. And they dressed primarily like when they saw the people who fought in the French and Indian War, and wearing leggings and moccasins and so forth. And the muskets that we had. This was what they called an English trade gun. It was used. This is a 1762, used and sold to the Native Americans at this time. Because it was a smooth bore and no bayonet, we had our trusty tomahawks that were used by our people.
Is that an original?
No, this is a replica. The only thing original that I have here is my powder horn. That is original. But all of the equipment that we wore, this is all you had, all you carried. The haversack that I have here is what we carried our food in. This was all we had right here. This is about 1 week's worth of food, dried beans, peas, and so forth. This is known as the possible bag, which meant anything possible could go in it. This is a replica of a Pennsylvania pouch. I use buckshot rather than round ball, because I'm not that good a shot. So when I fired, you can just kind of, get a few out there. This is regular pine, and this is what you carried your ammunition in, the balls that you were using.
And you say fire. When I fire that, so that's a working...
Oh, it's absolutely a working musket. I'd just like to point out where you notice here the serpent. The Native Americans, this is what they wanted. They wanted something that was distinctive. So when the English and the French sold these guns to the folks here in America, they would have them dressed up so that they could be sold.
Beautiful.
And many of them weren't brass. Many of them were just black iron. But this happens to be a kind of a good one.
Yeah, it's a Cadillac.
Right, Cadillac. But all of the equipment, this is pretty much authentic. I tried to be as authentic as I could, but this particular outfit is what they wore in 1775, just after when Washington made the call for the troops to come into Boston. And my character is one of my ancestors. His name is Abel Briggs. He left Freetown. He was 18 years old. He walked 40 miles into Boston and joined Washington and Benedict Arnold's army to go up into the Kennebec.
Hank, would you have a blanket roll as well? Would you have had?
You would carry that. You would roll that up and it would be over your shoulder. And that was all. That was it.
Even in the winter?
Yes. Wow. This is what we wore.
Hardy men.
Yeah.
When we stormed Quebec City, it was December the 31st, and we were all freezing, and we were starving, but this is what we wore. We didn't have any fancy clothes to keep us warm. This is it.
Gloves?
No gloves.
Oh my Lord. Good Lord.
Can't even imagine.
Well, there were many times people would be frozen, and they'd get up in the morning after being wet, and they would have to break the ice off their clothing. And there were a couple, 3 women. One of the wonderful stories is a woman she and her husband were on the trek, and they got up just beyond the Great Carrying Place, Appalachian, where the trail comes across from Mount Katahdin, where she could go up over and down into Lake Mechanic. The old gentleman died during the night, and so she pulls him up and covers him up with leaves, and picks up his rifle and goes the rest of the trail all the way in. So there were 2 women that followed the troops all the way to Quebec. She was one of them, wonderful woman. She'd hike her dress up, and no one would look.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.